Scarlett Johansson is one of the biggest stars in the world, but her filmography is littered with underrated movies that deserve more attention. Transitioning from teen idol to bona fide movie star in only a decade or so, Johansson has maintained her place near the top for over 2 decades. She's a versatile actor who can also headline big-budget projects. The 2-time Oscar nominee has won a slew of other awards over the years, but her box office accolades are where she shines the brightest. With nearly $20 billion in worldwide grosses, Johansson has several films over the $1 billion mark. She has also made plenty of movies that scored big with critics, but failed to move the needle financially. No matter the project, Johansson is a consistent winner. Her underrated movies are a mix of films that were simply overlooked or were panned by critics when they first released. Since she has grown a fanbase through mainstream hits, some of Johansson's best movies are largely unknown to her casual admirers. Even movies with bad reviews can be underrated, especially if they have aged well or become cult classics. On the other hand, some of Scarlett Johansson's forgotten flicks are just that, forgotten. She was on such a tear in the 2000s that she released several films a year. This caused some real gems to slip through the cracks and become forgotten all these years later. Regardless, Johansson's underrated movies are a testament to her stellar career thus far. 8. The Nanny Diaries, 2007. By the mid-2000s, Scarlett Johansson was beginning to enter legitimate stardom. The Nanny Diaries is one of her transitional roles, and marks a shift away from her young adult image. In the movie, she plays a struggling grad who works as a nanny for a wealthy family. Part social commentary and part rom-com, it fared well at the box office. The movie co-stars Chris Evans, and the duo share screen time a few years before their MCU debuts. The Nanny Diaries is still a fun little comedy all these years later. Johansson's charisma carries the film, and the whole thing has a cozy vibe that makes it rewatchable. It ranks last largely because of its missed opportunities. The original novel is biting and real, but the movie is somewhat toothless. 7. He's Just Not That Into You, 2009. He's Just Not That Into You was released at the height of the rom-com boom in the late 2000s, but it's often overlooked in favor of other movies from that era. The ensemble comedy taps Johansson to play Anna, a yoga instructor who sparks up a relationship with Ben, Bradley Cooper, who is married. Her story weaves with several other narratives to create a tapestry of dating and marital woes. The blockbuster is fading from popular memory despite scoring over $140 million at the box office. It's being forgotten even though it has a cast including Johansson, Cooper, Ben Affleck, and Jennifer Aniston. It got pretty mediocre reviews, but that isn't unusual for rom-coms of any era. It's certainly better than the critics' scores, and harkens back to a simpler time at the movies. Johansson's performance is fun and flirty, but it isn't one of her meteor roles. It's definitely among Johansson's most underrated movies, but only just so. The movie struggles to balance all of its disparate threads, and it suffers from being just a bit too long for a romantic comedy. 6. Lucy, 2014. Lambasted by critics who simply didn't understand the movie's tongue-in-cheek tone, Lucy is so much better than many remember. The title character, Johansson, unwittingly ingests a drug that allows her to use 100% of her brain, and it unlocks special powers. Luc Besson's vision is a wild ride from start to finish that leaves many scratching their heads. Perfectly suited to play a superhero role, Johansson gets a bit more to do with Lucy than in her frequent MCU appearances. The fact that she plays it totally straight is just the icing on the cake of a thoroughly enjoyable sci-fi action film. Sadly, Lucy does sag in the middle, and even with proper context, The Forgotten Gem is far from a perfect movie. 5. Under the Skin, 2013. Under the Skin is a vexing sci-fi film, and it is a showcase of Johansson's acting chops. She stars as an alien who comes to Earth disguised as a woman and kidnaps men. Eschewing the usual trapping of a science fiction film, Under the Skin is a sparse experience that borders on horror. Even with Johansson's name on the marquee, the movie flopped big time. Critics ate the movie up, and it's often celebrated as one of the best science fiction films of the 2010s. That doesn't mean the movie isn't underrated, and it is still widely overlooked in favor of Johansson's more mainstream movies. That's likely because the movie is so challenging, and asks the viewer to think deeply about the themes explored. It's a grim flick with dour imagery and a dark ending. It's perfect for moviegoers looking to be challenged, but not ideal for someone wanting a simple experience. It's so wildly different from anything Johansson has made before or since, and is the black sheep of her filmography. Nevertheless, it's one of her best movies and will stand the test of time. For the Girl with a Pearl Earring, 2003. Lost in Translation gets all the credit for marking Johansson's transition to adult roles, but The Girl with a Pearl Earring also deserves credit. As the subject of Vermeer's legendary painting, Johansson's Griot draws the Dutch icon's eye both artistically and romantically. It's one of those burning passion period pieces that banks on style instead of gaudy sexuality. The Girl with a Pearl Earring borrows heavily from Vermeer's palette, incorporating elements of traditional art into its cinematography. Johansson's performance is a fine balance between exaggeration and reality, matching the heightened tone of the film itself. With interest in period dramas at an all-time high, The Girl with a Pearl Earring is the perfect candidate for rediscovery. 3. The Man Who Wasn't There, 2001. Unlike most of Scarlett Johansson's most underrated movies, she only plays a small part in The Man Who Wasn't There. The overlooked Coen brothers film concerns a barber in the 1940s, Billy Bob Thornton, who plans to strike it rich by blackmailing his wife's boss. Johansson plays